So I was about 19 years old when my father called me to have a chat about the future. What was it that I wanted to do of my life, with my life? And so we sat down in the living room and I held a probably 15-minute monologue about all the different things that I definitely knew I didn't want to do. I knew that I didn't want to go to university at that point, even if I ended up going back after. I knew that I didn't want to have a 9 to 5 job. I don't even know what the list consisted of now, but I just remember going on a long tirade of all the things that I knew were not going to be on my path. And after 10 or 15 minutes, and I'd exhausted my list, he very calmly said to me, he said, "Well, I'm not really that interested in what you don't want to do. I'm more interested in knowing what you do want to do." And while that's a totally valid question, the effect it had on me and the emotions that came up, and I just swelled up in tears and started crying, was I felt so exposed and lost. I felt like he had just seen right through me, that while I felt that I should know, and probably thought that he thought I should know by now, by that age, what I was going to do with my life, I had no clue. I had no clue, and it was scary. And it felt, in a way, humiliating. And it took me, another 25 years before I would ever really connect to some kind of feeling of, ah, now I know why I'm here. Now I know what my purpose is. So I was 45 by the time I figured that out. But up until then, I would regularly explore things, start new jobs, do them for a while, get bored, try something else. Um, and feel like I was a jack of all trades, but also felt this pressure and guilt that I wasn't becoming a specialist at something, that I wasn't getting really, really good at one thing. And so all these societal voices of the image that I had, that, what made somebody a professionally successful, really, what would define somebody as having a beautiful career, none of that related to me. I just felt like I was not being, not insisting enough, not being devoted enough, too lazy. I don't know, but it just felt like I didn't have it in me. And so it was hard to build up my self-worth and confidence with sort of the path I had created for myself. And when I finally found that path, which came through a crisis moment where I was working and I had a boss who just wasn't listening, and I felt like I was missing communication skills, and I started looking for tools and knew that I actually really loved facilitating, and started taking facilitation courses, which then led me to coaching, and then realizing, oh my gosh, that's such an amazing tool, getting my coaching certification. And all of a sudden I felt, oh, finally, at the age of 45, I found my thing. But what happened then was the next crisis happened, is that, well, I'd found a tool that I really found useful. And I think I always wanted deep down to help the younger me at 19, who had no clue what she was going to do with her life. Those were the people I was being drawn to. And it happened to be the age group that my children were in. So I would see their friends, they would come around and we'd have these chats. And that was that's when I felt the best. But to build a sort of career around kids of that age who have no money, and I didn't want them to have to ask for money from their parents, so I would coach them for free, and that was fine, and I was happy to do that. But at the same time, I was trying to build a business, and all these coaches of coaches were telling me, you have to create a high ticket offer, don't go for the small stuff, go for a high ticket offer, and you have to define what people are going to achieve with you, and go for sort of middle-aged people, and it was drawing me away from where my passion lied, young people, and helping them without them having to cash out lots of money. And while I enjoy really working with all age groups and all kinds of challenges and all kinds of questions, it's like there's this little space in my heart that still wanted to really help that younger generation. And so the idea of creating some kind of a space, a great space, a listening space, a held space, like I would do in a coaching session, but through the content of a book or a game that was at the same time really, really useful and would provoke questions, would provoke insights while being fun and entertaining at the same time. That came really early on, came way before the gates of Lilamythia took the shape of the gates of Lilamythia. I knew years ago that I wanted to create that kind of a structure for people who were either young or didn't have the means, for whatever reason, to go into sort of a one-on-one coaching approach. So that's kind of the origin story. That's my why story. It was to really go and create a support space where people who also knew that the answers were within, that to not get misguided by coaches who tell them, oh, follow my program, and then you'll be able to do this, and then you'll find. No, it was more about, what, everything you need is already within you. You just need to ask yourself the right questions and explore and have fun and play with the answers and the questions that come to you, and then you will find the answers within. And that's how I fell in love with coaching, with the fact that everything was within us. And that's why I loved working with younger people. And that's why the Gates of Lilamythia came to be.